Hey, it's Todd with Defense and Safety. I wanted to do a knife review. I've actually got this knife about a month ago, and I've been carrying it pretty much all the time as my EDC. And I have to say, um, it has become, without a doubt, my new favorite. New favorite EDC blade, and that, of course, is the new Spyderco ParaMilitary 2 with the black blade. I have to say, on my first impressions, that it was much lighter than I imagined it would be. This carbon fiber, the liners are really just thin pieces of stamped steel, so there's no real weight to this knife at all. So it's extremely light carry. You don't really notice it in your pocket. The size is pretty substantial. I mean, it's not small, but it's not too thick. I think, I look at like the Mannix 2, it just comes across as so much thicker. As you can see, when they're side by side, it just hides it. Whereas if this is in the front, the thing I find with the Mannix 2 is I can't get my hand in my pocket when I go to grab something else out of it. So this is really perfect. Perfect size, perfect weight. I love the blade size and shape, SV30. The lock is fine. I don't have an issue with that. Some people talked about it being a little stiff at first, and I have to agree that it was. It's definitely loosened up after probably opening and closing it several hundred times. I'm not a fan of lanyards on my knives. I kind of, when I carry it in my pocket, I want it to be discreet, so I'm not really looking for it to be something I can easily grab. I can usually get it out of my pocket fine. Carries well, carries pretty low. You're looking at about that much sticking up out of your pocket, right about there. I wish, and I know other people have said this, that they use all black screws, and even this lanyard hole, if that were black, I think it would just carry a little more discreet. But I love, love, love this black blade. I think I'm kind of a fan of the all black blade, especially when they're well done. I think there's some knives out there that they have the black coated blade, and what happens is it just cuts off, right? As soon as you start cutting with it, even cardboard and stuff, it just starts peeling off. I think the cold steels are that way. I don't own any, but what I've seen in videos, they just get wrecked. This seems really, really to stay on there well. Doesn't seem like it's wearing at all. But again, to me, this is now my favorite EDC. Just as a comparison, I was carrying this Benchmade, which is also a great knife. I reviewed it earlier on my channel. It's a bigger blade. I love it. But it's a little heavier. Let me feel it. Yeah, it's noticeably heavier. And the thing is, it's a little harder to deploy because of the... it's just not as easy to deploy. So I like this a lot better. And the other thing I noticed is this loosens up after a while. And I emailed Benchmade, and they told me to just take it out and Loctite it in and see if that helps, but it's kind of a bummer. But this blade is just, to me, combines everything you want in an EDC blade. Light, it's easy to deploy too. It's got these they're brass bushings in here, and it just makes for a very smooth deployment. This new locking mechanism is fine. It works great. Locks up solid. Zero movement. Zero movement. And, with the weight and the style of the blade, the handle material isn't overly aggressive like a couple knives that I have are, even this one isn't that bad either, but I have a couple knives that they're so aggressive that you feel like they're just ripping your pants apart every time you pull the knife out and put it back in. And this is kind of a nice compromise there. I mean, it's probably wearing your jeans slowly over time, but not nearly as bad as some of the other knives out there that are more aggressive. But again, just an amazing knife. Probably, if you were going to own only one Spyderco, or one premium, you know, $100 plus knife. Out of all the knives I own, and you've seen I've reviewed several, and I'm going to review some more here today, this is by far the best, just from its style. You've got this choil area here, you've got some good jimping back here, so you can get a good grip if you want to use the knife, you know, kind of for fine cutting or carving. But then, you know, when you grip it back here, it feels really good in your hand. It fills your hand up really nicely. There's nothing I don't like about this knife. Nothing. It's beautiful. I love it. And of course, Spyderco is always courteous enough to give you right side carry, tip up, tip down, and left side tip up, tip down. And of course, I carry tip up on the left side. But anyway, just an amazing knife. There's a ton of reviews out there for this, but for my money, if I had to own only one pocket knife, I really would say that this is the knife. Best bang for your buck. You're getting great steel, great construction, great lockup, light, definitely one of the lighter knives that I own, and it just feels good in your hand. Definitely a high quality knife, definitely worth picking up. Again, this one is Golden, Colorado, USA Earth, so another plus there. This is not a Japanese Spyderco or a Taiwanese Spyderco. This is made in the good old US of A, so right up there like the Mannix. Just a great knife, great construction, great feel. But to me, you know, it's got a much lighter and slimmer feeling profile. Carries better in your pocket. So this has been my review of the Spyderco ParaMilitary 2 with the black blade.